Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mondays with Mardos. I'm Gerard, and this week we're going to talk about how to avoid the ammonia taste in your cigar. Is that real? Well, stay tuned. But before I get going, I need you to click on that subscribe button, click on the bell to be notified every single week on Mondays with Mardos. Alright, you guys, so yeah, ammonia is a byproduct of tobacco. It happens during the fermentation process. The byproduct of ammonia does start to emit from it, and freshly rolled cigars will have a little bit of ammonia in it. And how can you avoid this? I have done some of my own little bit of research, a little bit of experiment on how to avoid that. And for me, we have our own factory in Dominican Republic, and a lot of times I want to sample cigars, and whenever I have these cigars freshly rolled, I don't have 40 to 60 days for me to let the cigar to sit for me to sample it. Although I do make multiple samples, or I at least have our employees make me multiple samples of the same cigar, anywhere between 25 to 50 cigars, and I bring them back home with me, and some of them I do store them for about 40 to 60 days, even cigars that I try like 3 months down the road and see how they taste, because you definitely don't want the ammonia to affect the flavor of the cigar, which it does. So if you have a cigar that is only maybe like 3 days, 4 days, or even up to a week young, and it's gonna have that ammonia, or even if you buy some cigars and they have that ammonia because they were not able to properly age it, and the reason why that happens, no manufacturer wants to put out any bad product. Everybody's intent is to give you the best product. However, there is a thing called supply and demand. If the demand is very, very high and the manufacturer is trying to do whatever they can to, catch up with supply, sometimes they will not have the time to really age the cigars. As being a cigar connoisseur, I am willing to take that burden on. If I buy cigars that are young and I can smell a little bit of the ammonia, you can really smell it sometimes, I'm going to let the cigar rest, and I'm going to carry that burden and give some leeway to the manufacturer, because I understand the industry, I know the business, I get it. I'm not going to hold it against them, because again, I love cigars, I love the people in cigars. I will carry that burden, I will let the cigar sit because I appreciate it. Now, how do I let the cigar sit? A lot of cigars come in cellophane. They have the fold, and then they have the sticker, the UPC sticker, in order to keep it properly stored. And what I do is I take off the sticker and I will cut some of that cellophane, so therefore it really exposes the foot of the cigar, because now the cellophane is going to be open. And then I will take my cutter and I will clip the cap of the cigar with the cellophane on there. Now the cigar is cut and it's also exposed, and I place it in my humidor. Now what I have is I have true good circulation of good, well humidified air circulating through the cigar, so therefore you can remove the ammonia. And this, believe me, I've done it many, many times. I continue to do it. It does speed up the process tremendously. I'm talking, you can cut months off the aging of your cigar, because we're going to use the concept of home infusing your cigar. So if you have cigars and you want to infuse it with some type of spirit like bourbon or whiskey, whatever, usually you find a cylindrical type of Tupperware or a tub that has a sealed lid to it. And what you do is you place your cigars on the inside, but on the outer perimeter of the tub. In the middle, you place a shot glass of like bourbon or whiskey, and those vapors are going to enter the foot of the cigar, and it's going to give flavoring, right? So the longer you allow that vapor to sit in that sealed container, it's going to be able to, travel down the cigar further and further. Now, once the vapors have been weakened, you're going to replace that shot glass with a new amount of whiskey, and then more vapors are going to enter the cigar, and it enters from the foot, and they try to, submerge itself into the cigar, so you get more of that flavor within the cigar. That is the same case when it's just air going into your cigar. It's going to help to emit some of that ammonia. Well, if there's no other egress or escape for that air to go out, it's just gonna take forever. So that's why I like to cut my cigar, so they have that good air movement going on, so that flow will increase and speed the process of removing the ammonia. Hence, that's what means to age your cigar. So I hope that helps. It helps me a lot, you guys, when I get my cigars and they're young and they're samples from the factory, and I want that aging process to speed up a little bit. that's it. That's a little tactic that I use. Let me know in the comments if this helps you guys. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Remember to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and tell your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See ya.